What's up, everybody? We are about to start our third install of quarantine. I am excited about this one. It seems a little intimidating to me right now just because when I got this boat, I had Bucks Island. I had them. They were the one that decked everything out for me, them run all the wires and hook everything up. So I had no clue how anything was ran until I just started kind of poking my head around trying to find stuff. And now I understand 100% why all the pros like to run their own wires, because then they know where stuff goes. Now, Bucks Island did a great job, man. It was all clean, everything that looks good, and it was easy to find. So I'm not complaining about anything how it was ran, but it has been a little daunting to start pulling wires, cutting wires, and just starting to run stuff back. Hold on, I got a phone call. Give me 1 second. What's up, man? I appreciate it. See ya. Awesome knowing people that have actually done this. That was actually Logan McCappell, and his dad actually runs SeaClear. So let me see if I can get that in there. Maybe it's in there. There it is. I'll blur out that top part if I got it. But his dad actually is the one that owns that. So it was actually really cool to get to talk to him and ask him about all this before I jumped on the bandwagon and really wanted to run one of these on there. But it's good to actually like know people that actually are running. Installing these things and running it, and being able to call and ask questions instead of having to wait for customer service. So I love small business and just the connectivity of everything. But got some sap on my boat. But anyway, I'm about to start the process. I've got everything ran. I've got a little I ran my some glow sticks all the way from there to the back of the boat back here to run the wires. And then as soon as I got there, I ended up checking the mail, and what came in the mail? The snake that I ordered. So we're gonna start running these wires and get everything going, and maybe he'll call me back and let me know about that switch deal. So we'll set y'all up so y'all can kind of watch the process a little bit. All right, so I got a little dark on me last night, so I ended up just finally getting those wires ran. I was running into a problem with it getting caught on my shifter, so I had to take that whole plate off and then put a kind of weasel it through there and do an extra thing. But I ended up getting it ran through my hole right here, and then all you do after that is you find your positive and your ground wires and you run them into these tubes here, in which, let me see if I can get y'all. All right, so you got these two shifters. Let me turn it this way. And all you do, I'm not going to take off both of them, but all you do is all right, so you cut them off, you cut off your whatever is on there, and then you just kind of clean them up a little bit. Probably gonna try to see if I can start bumping the camera a little bit. And then you take these two ends right here, put the collar, make sure you do it the right way, collar, the threads go up, and then you put them up into that where it's got a good connection, and then you just start threading on there. Just make sure you constantly are keeping pressure on those wires so they actually get a good connection in, and then keep going, and then it's tight. Make sure everything's tight. You can do that for both ends, but you just got to make sure you cut them, strip them down where you can get a good connection on that. And then now all I got to do is get all these wires from here up into here, clean back up, get my box covered back up, and we should be ready to rock and roll after that. So y'all just kind of stay with me, and I'll show y'all what everything looks like whenever I power it up. I don't know if I did show y'all this either. Let me see. Pop down real quick. So instead of, I went and showed you that switch there. Well, my graphs are already set to their own switch. So I ended up just taking them and hooking my power wires to this switch right there. And so all I gotta do is flip that on, and it cuts my graphs on and off. So whenever I'm charging my batteries, I don't have to have voltage going to there. I can cut the power off to them. Nothing's gonna short circuit or anything, but I've got a lot of wires to clean up. And once I get those cleaned up, we'll flip the switch, take off the screens, and we'll show y'all what everything looks like. So just stay here and we'll be right back here for y'all. Be the next thing y'all see. So all right, we've got everything cleaned back up, looking good, got everything put back together. So now is the moment of truth. Before I hooked this harness up, I was getting on an average of 11.8 to 12.1 across all four graphs. That's the highest I got sitting still, not the motor running. So we're gonna see, open up this back hatch. It's harder to do with one hand than people think. All right, so I'm gonna flip the switch that I showed y'all, and we're gonna see what happens. Let's see. Oh, they're booting up. I don't know if y'all can see that. All right, let's see. 12.4, 12.5. So that's pretty good. Let's see what this one does. 12.2 up here, 12.3. All right, now what I want to see is, I haven't had this thing on, I haven't had it on charge. So what I'm going to do now, so it seems like, I mean, I'm getting a little bit. I won't lie, I hooked it up last night and I was getting 12.8, 12.9. But I'm getting a straight 12 volts across the board. Hopefully it'll hold to that. I've got my batteries on my so my cranking battery is at 12.33 volts based off of what the charge is telling me. So that's pretty good. If my battery's reading 12.33 and I'm getting 12.3, 12.2 and 12.4 across the board, then I'm ecstatic. I mean, it's not off by much then. So man, I'm hoping with these last few installs, the power pole charge, the harness, I'm hoping with that's going to help me get a more cleaner, crisp picture. I can actually go through and graph and not have any voltage issues like I've had them, to where whenever I went to go crank the battery, it just they'll flash or give a little dim, they'll start dimming on themselves. And so hopefully that'll fix my issue on that, and I'm excited to get on the water. I'm gonna try to get through. I'm gonna look at the weather. It's supposed to be thunderstorms tomorrow. I'm probably gonna try and get on the water Thursday and Friday. Maybe go for a little bit in the afternoon Saturday. I don't know, I might go fish a night tournament night, I'm not sure. We'll see. But whenever I get on the water, I'll make sure to take the camera with me and go show y'all if I see any difference. I know I don't have much of a pre or before of what the screens look like, but I think I should know. I'm hoping, the big hope is that with Panoptix, that it's going to help me get a more crisper screenshot of that, because that's something that I use every time I'm on the water. Not so much of just going in on the ledges, but just pulling up places that I know fish are at and being able to more visibly see those fish instead of it being more kind of blurry. I've noticed it. I've noticed sometimes whenever later in the day, the picture doesn't seem as good as it was first thing in the morning. So hopefully it'll stay like that the whole way through. But we're gonna get these things cut off. I'm gonna plug it back up and get it up to full spec, and we'll hit the water and we'll let y'all know what it is. But the install was pretty easy. I did have some issues getting it ran, that second splitter that comes to the console. I had some issues getting it ran through the hole, but I have a freaking tiny hole packed with wires, as you can tell right there. So because of that was just causing the issue. And also with that splitter, I was able to get this longer cord. I was able to get it ran. It was a breeze. Run up to the front, that one was no problem. But having to take a second wire snake and try and weasel that through, and it was getting caught from that. It was getting bound up and caught on this throttle box. So I had to kind of undo the screws on that. Hopefully I didn't screw anything up. I mean, it shifts good forward, it shifts good back. So it kind of seemed like it was catching a little bit on some shift stuff, but hopefully we got all that fixed, and I didn't mess anything up. I think I did knock one of my little screws out, so we'll have to fix that and get to where that's not a eyesore for me, and replace a couple other screws. You always lose at least the small stuff, screws, nuts, bolts, washers, something always goes missing. So I've got a few screws I've got to replace, but other than that, I mean, the wiring harness itself was not hard. If I hadn't had the hold up here at the console to get that ran through, I'm pretty sure I would have been done in about 2 hours. That was the only issue, because running it from there to the front, I literally had to pull it. I was literally pulling that wire from here, pulling it up, pulling it back, undoing it, trying to figure out a different way. So if I hadn't had to do that, I think it would have been a lot better streamlined process. But again, that's on how my boat was manufactured and set up. That's nothing on the harness at all. But I'm excited to get out on the water and test it. I'll let y'all know. All right, everybody, well, we've been out on the water a few times now since installing the SeaClear power harness, and I've got to say I'm 100% impressed with it. I wasn't really sure on first thoughts or first installation, like looking at my voltage and stuff, of how everything was going to be, but for the most part, when my batteries are fully charged, and whenever you're actually out there graphing, you've got 12 volts, if not more, the whole way through. Haven't really seen any droppage. What I have noticed is that my graphs are faster, and that is something that they say. I can come off a pad, and as soon as I come off a pad, it'll pick it up. And that's something that I've sometimes they would lag, and like you'd go probably 20 yards, 30 yards before it would pick up, and now I can drop it down there, and as soon as I kind of stop my pad motion, it'll pick up. And so I'm impressed with that. Other than that, I'll give them a call, recommend them. They are not sponsored or anything like that. I paid full price for everything I've got in my boat, and it is definitely the deal. So y'all go check them out, go install y'all one if y'all are looking to get cleaner power to your units and get a brighter, faster response, brighter screens, and just be able to see more detail. And I've noticed coming up here in the river and just kind of graphing that you can see a lot more trash and trees and the rocks and stuff. So I'm impressed with it. So y'all go give them a follow. I hope this video was helpful to y'all. If it was, like the video, share it if you know of somebody that might need some answers, questions answered on it, and feel free to drop me a DM or a message on the video or on my social medias as well. But y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be putting together a lot more content of just different things that I feel like could help benefit y'all as fishermen. This year's with the COVID-19 pandemic has kind of got everything a little bit screwed up. So tournament wise for me, besides the club trails and maybe a few nation events, if I'm available, don't have any work and I'm available to fish them, I will definitely jump into those. But other than that, there's nothing really that big. I'm kind of glad that I didn't try and push myself to fish more tournaments, but that also gives me the opportunity to put together better videos, more quality stuff, give you better content in ways that may help y'all become better fishermen on your local lakes and ponds. So again, subscribe to this channel, go like me on social media if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next one.